Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Coffee with Carl. I am your host, Carl Zellner, one of the attorneys with Anderson Business Advisors. And today we're going to continue along with our series of answering some general platinum questions. Today we have a question from a client, as usual. We won't give our client's name out, but I will read the question. So it says, looking at my current entity structure, do you recommend I set up a management company LLC? So this management LLC could then collect rents, sign leases, etc., and would provide anonymity. Or is it better to set up a corporation? And if so, what would be the advantage of doing that from an asset protection and tax perspective? So a couple things going on here. Number one is we need to figure out LLC or corporation, and also is a management entity going to be beneficial? So looking at a couple of things here. Number one is the client has our titanium service. So the cost of setting up the entity isn't really an issue. That's just paying whatever state fees are required. The other thing I wanted to look at is what state the client is in or is running their business in, because that can make a difference on type of entity and just overall strategy. And this person's in Florida. So next piece we go to is LLC or corporation. So LLC or corporation in Florida doesn't really make a difference. You could have an LLC. It's good the person flagged corporate, some sort of corporation, but we can have an LLC taxed as a corporation and you get the same benefit. So my personal preference when it's between LLC and traditional corporation, I tend to like LLC taxed as a corporation, because it gives you a little bit of flexibility and you get the same benefit as being a traditional corporation. The next question is on the anonymity. So when we set up a management entity, you tend to be sort of tenant facing. So anonymity is usually not our top focus there. But I guess technically if it was owned by a Wyoming LLC, you would have trouble seeing who owned it on the SunBiz website in Florida. But it wouldn't be my primary focus of anonymity if I'm setting up a management entity. And that's in any state, because ultimately, if you're doing the legwork or the management work, people are going to know who you are. That doesn't mean they know you're the owner unless you tell them, but individually, you'll be out there. So. All right, so let's hit the questions here and get the answers. We'll keep them as straightforward as possible. So, do you recommend I set up a management company? Looking at that person's entity profile, they've already got a couple of LLCs, which with the way the structure is set up, I suspect are owning rental properties. So I think a management company would be a good idea. Is it better to have a corporation or an LLC taxed as a corporation? From an asset protection and tax perspective, it's identical. Asset protection perspective, also pretty much identical. So in this case, I would go with LLC taxed as a corporation for that management entity. And since they have titanium, like I said, the only cost to them is whatever the state charges for filing fees and then registered agent. So pretty easy and straightforward on this one, but a good question to ask so you can have somebody run through that analysis, because otherwise you'd kind of just be guessing. So as usual, if you have those type of questions, please submit platinum questions. Please use the attorney or tax hotline if you have questions, and we're happy to run you through any of those scenarios and answer any questions you got. So until next time, please remember to like and subscribe, and also refer to a friend, because we like to share our content here and we like to keep it free for you. So till next time, thanks for joining me with Coffee with Carl, and we will catch you on the next episode.